Hey guys, are you thinking about going to a federal government hiring fair? Would you like to know what to expect? Well, let's talk about it. First, if you're interested in federal hiring fairs, you can go to usajobs.gov and there's an event tab. And if you go to the event tab, you can scroll through there, find out all the events that are coming to your nearby area. And here recently, probably the last couple of years, most of these have been virtual events. So they don't actually show up anymore. Now this might change in the future, obviously. Before this, hiring fairs were conducted largely on military installations for veterans and also in large metropolitan areas like Washington, D.C., New York City. You can find a lot of these type of federal hiring fairs. Now, the way that most people approach this and the way that I approached it in the past is you lay out your clothes. You have a nice sport coat or a nice suit. Make sure that you shave the day before. You're wearing your shiny shoes. You print out a copy of your resume or 5 or 6 copies of your resume. At this point, a lot of people, some of them don't have federal resumes, so they end up going with private resumes. And you start to strategize, like, how am I going to attack this room, so to speak? What booths am I looking for? You look up who's attending this hiring fair, see what agencies are going to be there, and then you start rehearsing a little bit. That is the typical approach. So what happens when you show up? Well, I went to a few of them, and when I showed up, people are scurrying all over the place. So you're trying to figure out what agency am I interested in, and then you look and you say, well, there's a 10-person line there. I don't want to wait 30 minutes to talk to somebody. And you look on to the other side and you find out the individual that you planned on talking to has a line of 3 or 4 people also, and they're talking their ear off, and you're kind of just left there standing awkwardly trying to find a position. And then you have one booth over there, maybe it's the Department of Energy, but you're not really interested in them, but that's the only booth that doesn't have a line, so you're like, what the heck, let me give it a try. And you walk over there. Bottom line is, it is normally useless, because what you will often find is that the hiring manager isn't there. You will find instead, you'll find HR clerks or human resource assistants, and what they will do is they will advertise their agency, and they'll tell you, we have all of these job positions open. And then you'll say, okay, great, I'm interested in this one. And they'll say, well, you have to apply online. And you'll hear that time and time again. Well, you'll have to apply online. And then you'll start thinking, then why am I even here if I have to apply online? Well, the government likes to show a presence in these type of events because I believe it is a way of showing your presence, making people aware that you can apply on usajobs.gov. And it's even considered a form of recruitment. So they will continue to support these type of events, but not much will actually happen. Now, on the rare cases, there will be some interviews. 1 or 2 agencies will do 10, 12 different interviews in the back, impromptu. So you could be lucky and stumble into a situation like that. But most of them are not even allowed to take your resume. And if they take your resume, they're not going to do anything with it. They're just going to hold on to it and smile. But if you're a veteran, then you can benefit from VRA. And what that is, it allows you to be selected without competition up to GS11. So if that kind of fits your parameters, if that's what you're looking for, you can take advantage of that. And if you would like to, when you go to these federal hiring fairs, you are looking for a veteran program coordinator or somebody with a similar title. These individuals are inside of agencies and their job is to attract veteran talent. There's actually a list of these coordinators if you go to fedshirevet.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, as I was telling you, I had some experiences going to these federal fairs and I met one of these veteran coordinators, but I wasn't interested in the job positions that they were offering. I think it was a GS9 and I just wasn't interested in that at the time. But I took this woman's card, and what I did with this card is I gave it to one of my coworkers, and he was in the same station I was in. He was interested. We were both transitioning. He was interested and he maintained communication with this lady. This lady was able to connect him to another guy in a separate agency, and as a result, he was hired at a GS9 Step 1, but the very next year he was promoted to GS11, and then I think now he's a GS11 Step 2. But he was able to use that networking experience in order to leverage himself for a job. So it can absolutely be done. But if you have higher aspirations than GS11, then just completely forget about VRA. You're going to have to use a different approach. And when I tell most individuals that want to get a higher position in GS11 coming out of the military or even coming out of the private sector, it's all going to come down to your resume. The resume grants referrals. The resume is the key to get the interview. So you need to double down, refine, and strengthen the resume in order to be eligible to compete for those higher level GS grades. Well, what about you? Would you consider going to one of these federal job fairs, or do you consider it a large waste of time? If you have any experiences, if you've actually been to these job fairs, please leave your experience down below. If you have any questions or comments, leave that down below also. Well, that wraps up this video. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.